All right, let's shift gears a little bit because Senator John McCain, he thinks that young Americans admire Edward Snowden. Listen to this.
There's a young generation that believe that he is some kind of Jason Bourne.
McCain also says that a lot of young Americans don't trust government. Political prospect editor Kayleigh McEnany joins us now. Kayleigh, do you agree with the senator's assessment?
I do agree with his assessment. And let me start by saying, you know, I uncategorically disapprove of Edward Snowden. I think he's a traitor. That said, my generation thinks
Do you
the
think
opposite.
what he did, though, might have been patriotic? Can you separate what the man himself from the fact that he brought something to our attention that I think a lot of people appreciate?
He did, but he did it in the wrong way. You don't bring an issue to attention by stealing government documents, fleeing to our enemies, China, you know, in some ways Russia, and giving this information to them. But that said, my generation has huge distrust for government. They've been let down economically. They've been let down politically with the IRS scandal, you know, all the various Obama scandals, and they don't trust government. And that's why you saw Obama's disapproval rating fall precipitously when this came out, 17% in 1 month among my generation. So they see Edward Snowden as a renegade, as a hero, as someone who's fighting for them.
Would you even say that maybe he's like a modern-day Jesse James? I mean, are young people looking for that kind of person?
Precisely. They're looking for that sort of person. He is a modern-day Jesse James. They're fighting for their right. He's fighting for their rights when government doesn't, when government isn't fighting for those rights and those civil liberties.
But what about, though, the idea that the government really has been there in terms, you know, like the president's always touting all these different achievements that he's done, particularly on behalf of young people, and, you know, are they not appreciative?
They're not buying it, and you're right, he's touting it, and they bought it when they voted for him, but they're not buying it now, and that's why you've seen Obama's approval among millennials go down to 45%. The jobs aren't there, the market is bad, the student loan debt is astronomical, these scandals, the spying, the NSA, all of that combined, they don't trust him, and he can tout achievements all he wants, but they're simply not there to be touted. So
what do young people want then? In other words, you know, what exactly are they looking for? Is there something, some sort of, what can happen in Washington that would change their minds about government?
There's a very libertarian bent to my generation. That's why we saw them coalesce around a figure like
So
Ron
legalizing marijuana? I mean, no, really.
No, really, that's true. You know, things like that, you know, issues of that nature appeal to them. So I think a Rand Paul has a real opportunity to see millennials coalesce around him. So
well, wait a minute. I thought the Obama administration, that your generation liked the Obama administration because they were talking about, remember, forgiving tuition debt and keeping the interest rates low on student loans.
No, they absolutely did, and that's why we saw them vote for him in the election. But his materials, his promises have not materialized, and that's why we see them drop in approval ratings. 45% approval right now, dropping 17% points in 1 month. They're rejecting him now because he can't govern the same way he campaigned.
All right, so the president is free falling in the eyes of people in your age category. Do they buy into his victimization spiel? In other words, you know, a couple of weeks ago, he's been given a series of speeches that more or less say, hey, people, minorities, young people, old people, women, there aren't enough opportunities. There's still too many roadblocks. Do you think maybe that will suck them back in? Do they want to latch onto the victimization thing? I think,
yes, and I think that is the one point where they still have bought into Obama and still do agree with him. That's why it's so important for Republicans to come out and to say conservatism in a very loving way, to say conservatism is about love of the individual and belief so much that people can succeed when the government moves out of the way.
I'm glad you said that. Well, you know, what makes you more frustrated? People your age who more or less don't get it, or Republicans who don't understand that the way that they craft their message is a losing proposition?
Exactly. Republicans who don't craft the message is more frustrating to me because compassionate conservatism is what got Bush in the White House, and that is what will win millennials to the conservative cause. And until the Republicans come out and speak in this way, that's appealing to my generation, they're going to lose. So let's hope 2014 they change the way they package their proposals.
Over the weekend, Sarah Palin said that she was on Team Rand Paul. Are you on that team as well?
I haven't, you know, given my support yet. I like Jeb Bush a lot. I do like Rand Paul. I think we have so many players, you know.
Aren't they almost the polar opposites, though?
They are, but you know what? I like them both very much. I think Jeb Bush was an excellent governor. I think people are heavily critical of him because of the Bush name.
Right.
But I think he did wonderful things for Florida. I'm a Floridian, and I think he would do wonderful things for this nation.
Kayleigh, thanks a lot. We really appreciate the insight that you bring on this is really unique, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Charles.
See you soon.